Now let's see what is the major benefit of arrow functions. So let's make a JSON object which is person, and inside it let's provide it a name which is a string, and interests which is an array, and print me, in which we are setting value as a function, and in this function we are just writing console.log hello. Now let's print this JSON person by writing console.log person, and let's print it. Now let's call person.printme. Now we can see that this function is being called and it has printed hello. Now instead of printing hello in printme, let's print this dot interests from printme. Here this refers to the JSON person. So this dot interest means we are getting the interests field from the person object. So we can see that the entire array is printed. Now instead of printing this dot interest, let's map it to print something else. So this dot interest dot map, and inside map let's pass a function which would be taking interests value one by one as input, which would be received from the interests list, and for every interest we are printing this dot name likes to and then interest. So here this dot name refers to the person from this, and thus this dot name is Bill. So basically we are printing Bill likes to and then interest, and one by one the value of interest would be received from the list. So first bike, then surf, then cook. So now when we call the print me function, then Bill likes to surf, Bill likes to bike, Bill likes to cook are printed. Now let's make this same print me function again, but this time instead of using arrow function, let's use a regular function that we use. So here we have used this dot interest dot map, and inside we have passed in a function which will take one by one every value of interest as input from interests list, and for every interest we are printing this dot name likes to whatever the value of interest is. But this time we are seeing instead of printing Bill likes to bike, it is printing Bill result likes to bike. So here for some reason the name of a person, that is Bill, is not being read, and hence not getting the correct value of this dot name. In fact, if you try to run it on the browser, you may get something like undefined likes to bike instead of result. And the reason for this is the function that we have made, its scope or its context has now changed. That is, the this dot name we have used, the this in it now doesn't refer to the person anymore, it refers to this function. But in arrow functions, the this we use, that this refers to the this that is present outside the function. So we can see that if instead of using the arrow function we use a normal function, then we are not getting the correct value of this dot name. To resolve the situation, we can save the outside context this in a separate variable outside the function. So here I have written var underscore this equals this. With this, the outside scope of this is now saved in this variable underscore this, and inside the function, instead of using this dot name, I'm writing underscore this dot name, because underscore this is using the context which is present outside this function. Now to resolve the scope, there is one more method, and in this, instead of saving this separately, we can bind our function with the context which we want to use inside the function. So after the function ends, if I write dot bind and this inside it, then with that, the bind we have used for this would be referring to that context which is present outside the function. And because we have binded our function to that context, and when we use this inside the function, it would be also using the context present outside the function. So to avoid scope resolution, we can easily use arrow functions.